Hi, my name is MachineRite, and this is Understanding Fortnite. As of now, I've pretty much covered almost all the fundamental peaks. So a lot of people have been asking me if I could make a map that could practice those peaks that I was demonstrating in my videos. Luckily, someone on Reddit has lent me their account, so I could do exactly that. Basically, what this map is practicing is its game sense. There's going to be a lot of peaks that you practice in here that are basically instant advantages if you can set them up fast enough. As you can see, I've organized them by the positions that they are used in. Knowing what advantages you can use in every situation is really what's going to make you a smarter player. So let's start with even ground peaks. If you follow this metal path, it's always going to lead you to an exit. This sign here just means exit, so this has a booster path that will lead you back to the beginning. If you look on the wall, you can see all of the example peaks or edits that you're meant to do. So for example, this half ramp edit, you could do a jump peak with this, or you could do a right peak with this. Windows are right peaks. This total ramp here is a jump peak. This wall here is another right peak. If you want, you could do the super fancy Canada edit, which is basically doing the same as this, except for whatever reason, people on Reddit are arguing that it looking different is supposed to catch people off guard. If you use this top corner edit and you jump at the very furthest point that you can, your body is exposed for like a millisecond. There's no way that anybody can react to that. So it's not about being unpredictable, it's about being unreactable. Okay, sorry, rant over. Next peak is your half ramp edits. So I get two walls here, I get a ramp. I reverse the ramp and then just get this peak out. And then I like to reset the wall, come here, do the same edit. Reset the wall, come here, do the same edit, reset the wall. Anyways, you get the idea. Alright, next is your low ground peaks. A lot of people don't know how to deal with low ground and are constantly chasing height. But really, if you know all these peaks, you don't really have to waste match chasing high ground all the time. You can just fight from whatever position you're given. You can see here that there's a mirrored version of the example here. So you just place the floor cone, double edit, jump up, shoot, and then reset. You can do it from both sides, it doesn't really matter. The next one is very similar, except you're jump peeking off a ramp, and it's usually done from farther range. The edit you do is a little bit different. You edit the ramp like this so that you can see in front of you. You can kind of see the target with your camera over here. You just jump up and you shoot. You can perform the same edit over here if you just want to practice at a farther range. It doesn't really matter. This edit's a bit different than what I've shown normally, and that's mostly because I haven't covered the crouch peak. So what you do is if you're double ramping out, you edit this, and then you can pull out an AR, and then go for a crouch peak. The reason this is good is because a lot of time double ramping is sprayed down. If you hear them spraying, then that means they're exposed. So you can instantly get this out and then pop up for a quick crouch peek and then crouch back. You will also have a bloom advantage if they've already been spraying for a while, because you will be crouching and this is going to be your first couple shots where their bloom is going to be like this big because they've been shooting. Alright, next if you go through this door is something I showed in my jump peek video. Basically, if you have a target above you on a cone, you can jump out, shoot them, and then catch yourself. That's pretty much all there is to that. There's a target on the other side, and if you fall, then this just resets you, and then you can go back and reset. Next is the high ground peaks. So this is a very common situation that a lot of people don't know how to deal with safely. Basically, if you get a ramp floor over somebody like this, I see a lot of people, they kind of do this edit into them or whatever they do. The safer way to do this is just to, I've shown this before in my right peak video. All you do is you edit your ramp like this and your floor like this, and you jump out, and then you get a nice right hand peak. Even though you're jumping in the air, it's still like your right hand area that's being exposed. You can also peek out and then reset quickly to just avoid any other extra possible damage. This edit's really smooth because as soon as you finish this, your crosshair is already set up to do this edit. One thing to remember is you don't want to be all the way out here because that will push you off, and you don't really want to be here either. You want to be pretty far over because this is just going to give you more cover when you jump up. Next alternative you can see over there is if you have a floor cone, and all you do is you double edit, and then you can just do a crouch peek right here. This next one is pretty much the same thing, but this is if you get two ramps and floors over somebody. All you do is you edit this, and then this gives you a nice little crouch peek here. And then ideally you want to crouch peek and then reset it. You don't want to shoot and then rely on the reset to block you, because just crouching back down is going to be much faster. The edit also has to wait for a server response, which can be slower. So always just do the crouch peek and then reset after as you're crouching back. If you're doing it on the opposite side, it's a bit different. I like to do this, and then you just do your crouch peek from up here and then reset it. The next one is just very simple ramp peeks. I know this isn't used anymore, obviously. This is just to practice your ramp and crouch peeks. So I haven't really gone over this much in the video because it's just kind of too simple. But all I do is I kind of walk out diagonally, WD, uncrouch, and then I shoot, and then I go S and A back in. It's kind of like this kind of like circle motion here. And then you just add in your shot. And it's very quick. You can do the same thing up here. I have a second target. I also show that you can do the same thing off of triple 90 if you really want to, but it makes no difference. Right here I have the same falling peak that I've showed in my falling peak video, except I want to incorporate adding a wall after and then doing a follow-up shot. So I look down and kind of get my crosshair placement, shoot, and then replace a wall, and then do some sort of follow-up shot. You can do the same thing over here, except you're from 2 stories up. The last one is spray return. I've shown this before. You just wait for him to destroy the wall, and you just shoot and replace. Make sure when you do this, you're using your strafe patterns. And also, when you shoot and place the wall, I'm not letting go of my left click. I'm shooting, holding down my left click, and then just pressing my bind. So it's just an extra step to skip in case you didn't think of that. That's pretty much all to cover on this map. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks.